Hey guys, Wanka here with another amateur audiobook discussion. Today we're talking about Jim Butcher's Stormfront, the book one of the Dresden Files. I was first introduced to the Dresden Files in kind of a roundabout way. I had heard about them a time or two before, but it wasn't until I started watching Arrow, the new DC superhero TV show that's been going around. One of the main characters on there, who I really like, the cop guy, was apparently Dresden in the Dresden TV show, which, I had heard about, but I hadn't, checked into. But, yeah, I was told that it was a pretty solid TV show by a friend, and decided to check it out. And I watched the first episode, and it was really good, and I decided that I wanted to read the book series before I dove into the TV show. And so that's how I picked up book one. And it took me a while, they don't throw numbers on the sides of them or whatever. And so you just have to look at the list of books, which is getting pretty long. I think they're close to I believe 11 has come out, but I'm not entirely sure on that number. I know I've read 5 of them, I think. I suppose I could look at the list and double check that number. I know I've read at least 4 of them. I've read 4 of them, and they're really good, and I really, really like them. It's fantasy noir is what it is. The main character is a wizard for hire. He's like Dick Tracy. He's like Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's a wizard who's there to help people with problems, and most of those problems involve crime of some kind. At least those are the ones that they write books about. And it's done in a noir type fashion. It's first person narration throughout the whole thing, and it's him. He's got snide remarks that he makes about all the characters, and he's got fun descriptions of people, and it's just a lot of fun as they go through. And Jim Butcher has his stuff down. He knows his magic system, and so it's a consistent system, even when it feels like the main character is out of its depth. That's because he is. And that doesn't mean that there's anything new in the world. It's just that's not what that character had established. And that's a big, gigantic distinction that it's really hard to come across in your book series. That there's a difference between breaking your world and breaking what your character knew about your world. And there's been authors that I've read who their magic system gets broken by the end of their first book. And we would have preferred a story inside that magic system. And then there's some other people, who their main characters just don't know everything that's going on. This guy, Dresden, knows a lot about what's going on in the world. He knows a lot more than a bunch of characters in the book series. And so you're able to get that effect of explaining what's going on to these characters who aren't as well versed in their world as Dresden is. At the same time, you're also able to inform the reader about what's going on. And then there's things he doesn't even know, and so the author's able to just wave his hand and have things happen. And then, the reader is like, what? What's going on? But at the same time, Dresden's like, what? What's going on? Except he's a lot more paranoid and panicked about it. The book series does seem to be really good about being able to be pick-upable at any point. The 4 books that I've read, at least, any of them seemed like, yeah, you know more about the backstory of what's going on, but for the most part, for the drama that's taking place right there and then, you don't need any of the stuff happening in the back. Although the 4th book drew a lot heavier upon the previous lore. And so I'm thinking that as it goes on, there's going to be so much previous lore that you're going to keep needing that. But I'm not sure. I'm only 4 books in, and there's a lot for me to go. It's a book series that I like picking up every time I have that paycheck where I decide to walk into Barnes & Noble and lose $100. One of the books that I end up buying is a Dresden novel. And hopefully I'm getting right around to the point where I'll be able to pick up my next one. So I'm fairly excited about that. I do really like the magic system that he has in the book. It's not extremely well defined, though, you learn little bits and pieces of it here and there. I really like how he does magic potions, which involve taking 6 or 7 ingredients that are, nameless and just kind of emotional ingredients, and combining them together and making an effect. The feelings of these different ingredients. You need the 5 different flavors and then spirit or something. 5 different senses, excuse me, and then spirit, and there's and a binder, I think. I don't know, but it's they talk about it in the first book, and it's really, really well done. And, you know, whenever he makes potions, it ends up being like kind of a James Bond Q effect, where you know he's going to have used them by the end of it. But the times that he's done that, I've been surprised about when he uses them. That's one of the great things about it. These book series keep me on my toes and keep surprising me. It's really well written. It is more adult fantasy than some of the other stuff that I read and some of the stuff that I'll be doing as amateur audiobooks. There's definitely adult-based scenes in this book. So if that's the type of thing that turns you off, I would probably not recommend this book series to you. But it is extremely well written, the book series, and the characters are believable. And honestly, I didn't do a good job of portraying it. When I went back and edited my reading of it, it was a lot more flat and monotone than I would have preferred. I think something went up when I was recording it. I don't know. Maybe I was projecting in the wrong place. It just didn't sound right, and so I apologize for that. Hopefully my next one will be a little bit better. But I think that's it. If you've now that we've reached the end of the video and I get to point at things, if you guys have any comments and suggestions for me, please leave them down below. I would love to hear what books you want me to review next. And if you've read the Dresden Files, please let me know what you think. And hey, if you've read the books and watched the movie, watched the TV show, let me know if there's like cross-genre spoilers, cross-media spoilers. Because I do want to check out that TV show and be able to recommend it to people. But if there's spoilers either way, I would like to avoid them somehow. If you don't know what I'm talking about and need to watch my video where I do the amateur audiobook reading, you can click up top or down in the link below. And if you know anybody who needs to see this discussion video or the amateur audiobook video, please share it with them whichever way you can. It really helps me out. And thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Mammoth Wankow. This has been Amateur Audiobook Discussion. You guys stay in line. I'll see you next time. Peace out.